Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Yeah, that's what we got today. Welcome, guys, to PlanetGenX Reacts. PlanetGenX. What the hell is that? PlanetGenX Reacts to Ahsoka. Episodes 1 and 2. Yeah, we're cramming them all together. Fuck that 2-episode shit. I got time. I ain't got time for that. So yeah, we're cramming these two together. Plus, they need to be together because that second episode didn't deserve to be by itself, in my opinion. And they did right by putting it with that one. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Welcome, guys. I am Sean. That is Brian. And
hello.
Together, we're wild stallions. No. I'm in a pretty good mood today, as you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Ahsoka, man. I gotta say, I with the starting out with episode 1, I was feeling it.
I wasn't.
You weren't?
No.
Wow.
To me, it did have Kathleen's fingerprints on it, right? I don't know if you saw stuff that made you think that I did. I don't know. A lot of the same set and costume design issues I've voiced in the past.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. First of all, we got the new crawl. I was like, ooh, a new crawl. But it's not new. It's been from the Clone Wars TV show, animated TV show. So we've seen that the last season, I believe, used that same kind of crawl.
Mm-hmm.
Different. It's not sprawled out. It's not yellow. It's red, and it's stacked on top of each other. But
different font too, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, we had a little bit of a hiccup with the audio again. We think we got it figured out now, but I'm pretty sure you guys could barely hear Brian's reaction to the initial reaction. I said I liked it a lot. He said, "Well, I didn't," and he gave some points. So
not really. All I said was basically it's the same complaints I've had with other IP, right, in this field. General costume, set design, a lot of the writing and dialogue I don't enjoy. I just overall, it feels more like Mando season 3 than Mando season 1. I'll put it that way.
I'll tell you, even though on my initial watch of episode 1 and having gone through episode 2 and having watched a couple of deals about it, definitely in retrospect, I mean, like, because there's just some things I enjoy. And this is just, it's more, I guess, just because we're doing this, that I write down something, oh, well, that's, poignant. Maybe that makes me like it a little more because, I'm like, oh, there's a moment. Like, I'll give you an example. So, the scene where they come in on their shuttle into the ship, Balin.
Oh, the Filoni callback? Is that what you're talking about?
The Return of the Jedi callback. I'm like, whoa, hello. There's the
Not like he's ever done that, right?
Yeah, so I mean, there's that, a lot of that kind of thing, because in episode 2 you also get the callback to the medical scene from Empire.
Yeah.
When Luke's in the bed and shit, and there's that shot out the window. I was waiting for it. I was like, there's going to be the shot. There's got to be the shot. What's the shot going to be? And there was the big window shot, where they're standing there together and shit. Writing, I mean,
it felt like they tried to do the same with, like, the Vader scene at the beginning of New Hope, right? They tried to do another corridor scene.
Yeah. Oh, they did. Yeah. They made sure to make sure it felt like Tandem 4 corridor scene for sure. These are all great examples of what I was saying.
It felt a little empty and flat, that one specifically to me. The others were kind of like far enough away to be like, just kind of a nod of acknowledgement to me, but corridor scenes are, it's basically you have two schools for the corridor, right?
Yeah.
You have Star Wars, and you have Old Boy, and everybody's trying to do that in every corridor, but you can't, right?
Yeah.
I felt like it was a huge miss in maybe the editor or something, because it took me a second during that whole corridor scene to process the fact that the lasers were coming from the same direction that the droids are running away from, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of felt like there could have been more stuff done like that, right? Where it's like, oh, well, he was deflecting the lasers, right?
Yeah.
You don't pick up on it at first. It's like, he's firing a fucking laser.
Yeah, I think the directing left with some to be desired for sure. I mean, like there's some choices you said right there they could have made, and the pacing was very slow at times. There was a lot of standing around and waiting for something to happen. Well, waiting for Sabine to fuck up, basically. I was really at the beginning just down on Sabine, man, which was intentional. I mean, that's what they were trying to do. But just think they did it too slowly, man. It was kind
I
of
agree.
very dragged out. People just standing around, let's go talk to Hera, let's move over to this. It was like they could have done a lot of this dialogue in one spot, but they kept moving and then somebody'd walk into the scene. Like, it's like, oh, let's show off the room where they all got together in A New Hope before the Battle of Yavin, right? So we'll have Hera and them and Ahsoka have a little conversation in there. It's just, you could have done this because they have like 2 or 3 conversations. It's like, how many little one-offs are we going to get here? It seemed like Hera was just kind of the person that, they would move Hera, and wherever Hera was at, that's where they would move the dialogue between Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I just did not like Sabine, man. She really got on my nerves.
I mean, that was kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, our whole introduction to her felt very Hollywood, right? Like nothing really there, just rebellion, And of course, there's a whole rich history of like who this person is, their relationship with like everybody else involved, right?
Well, yeah, that's the other big gripe, right? That this is a show not for the casual fan,
uninitiated.
Yeah, I mean, like there is a lot of lore to go back on, and I think they missed the opportunity to really kind of explain that here, with things, like bring people up to speed better.
I took one of your resources on this one just to get a little more material this time around, and watch Screen Rant. Yeah. And I think I have to agree. One of the it it was fairly convenient for them to have such a wide open, uninhabited freeway out to the middle of nowhere out there, right?
I've never understood that freeway. Like, where's it going? What's it doing? It goes off to Ezra Bridger's house, communication tower that doesn't even connect to. Right. By the way, you still have to go through the fucking fields to get there. Let's just go through some of my notes here, man. See if anything pops up of interest. Got the Return of the Jedi. I did write this down, man. I wrote it down initially. I feel like I'm watching Star Wars. This is early on when I wrote this. Do you feel like you're watching Star Wars? Well, I mean, like, let's say the first minutes.
There are moments, right? And it kind of feels like there are, there's like one person on the team that gets it, but just one, right?
Yeah.
Other scenes, not so much. A lot of the Endor scenes, obviously, having played the game, Jedi,
right,
Fallen Order, you're familiar with the Night Sisters and a lot of that, so that was kind of cool to see. But like there were great shots. The opening, going from the crawl to the space scene was great. I think they tried to play with space and their blocking a little bit, and it didn't work out. Maybe I think the idea was openness, and the openness of space to like translate into the interior spaces and whatnot, and just didn't feel like it worked.
Well, I had a lot of issues since we're talking about the photography of it. For one thing, costuming. We live in a world now where HD televisions are everywhere, and we're no longer in just standard or high definition. We're in 4K and in some cases 8K. You got to really make your props look a whole lot better under scrutiny, because I thought a lot of costumes came off looking like painted plastic.
Yeah.
Which is what they are, fine, but you could do that, and they did it back in the 80s and 90s and stuff on film.
I was going to say, we had milk jugs for one of the best stormtroopers I've ever seen, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's all about what you're dealing with, and I feel like these guys, and here you have, like, ILM is their backbone. You would think that they would be just at the cutting edge, but I feel like a lot of compositing shots fall short, just look horrible.
Yeah. Well, the very first one on the planet felt kind of rough, right?
Yeah, and there was one with the what robot was it? Yeah, I had it. Maybe it was in the second episode notes. There was a robot. Yeah, it might have been in the second episode. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So on the second episode, there was some CG smoke, right, around Ahsoka when she was running after them and they got away. It looked bad, dude. I mean, it was totally volumetric CG smoke, but it looked like it was straight out of, a game engine from 10 years ago. Yeah. Really bad. I did not like that choice. I didn't understand. I mean, like, you could have used a photographic element and composited it in and probably got a better looking smoke than that. Then, the droid, I didn't say what kind of droid it was. It was like one of the attack scenes, one of the HK droids, I believe. And she was beating up on it. I think it was probably right before that smoke scene. Yeah, it was the one helping that dude that looks like a Knight of the Round Table, like the Black Knight or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was right there. She kicked the droid's ass and like it got knocked around or something, and it just, the way it laid on the floor and the way it looked compared to the way the rendering of the floor, it was just ugh. And I'm watching this in 4K, by the way, and very nice detail. Like when I get these, well, this is off Disney Plus, so I mean it's got to be pretty decent quality.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but this is something I've had an issue with for a while, especially with all the prequels, man, Star Wars prequels. They're fixing it. I noticed they're getting it better, but when they first hit like DVD and shit, it was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. No, thank you. I don't need to see that. Y'all need to rethink how you're going to, the medium this ends
part
up
of Jar Jar is his hand, right? That one scene in the pod racing.
Yeah.
An actual hand.
Yeah, but just all kinds of, just the way stuff composited, the way it looked, like it just didn't work. I mean, like they didn't. It's just it was early in that kind of thing, so I gave them a pass, and they have. I believe they fixed a lot of it because they've re-released those damn movies so many times.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me go back to some notes here on one. Loved the alien music that she was listening to, rocking out to. That was really cool.
Very J-pop.
Yeah, they have like their own albums and stuff they put out at Disney World at the Star Wars area down there. So it's kind of a thing to have, like Star Wars music is becoming a thing, I should say. I'm sure there are people that actually listen to that a lot and probably could name all kinds of things. Man, ever since I was a kid, did you think that like the General's insignia for the Rebel side looked like the Purina logo? Like I used to have one of them figures.
Yes, I always said that. And somebody was talking about it the other day, and in my head I was like, "Oh, you mean the Purina logo?"
Yeah, that Purina logo, man. And but see, I get because like you can see it circles on a white background, so it doesn't look like. But on the figure back in the day, I don't remember whose figure it was, but obviously the painting was very small and it looked like squares, so it came off looking like the Purina
I
logo.
want to say it was one of the rebel generals. I can't remember
Well,
who.
yeah, definitely Rebel General. I just don't remember who. I want to say it was from the Empire Strikes
Well,
Back.
I mean, like
Well, yeah, it would have
it
to be.
really narrows it down because it's in the room, right? It's in the big planning room. So there's only a number of generals it can be offhand, but
Yeah, I can't think of the guy's
not
name. It's the dude
important.
with
We
the
digress.
beard, right? Dude with the beard. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
We got a new ship. I thought that was kind of neat. It had the ones that were chasing her down. I'm sure that everybody's screaming at the screen. It's a whatever. I've never seen it before. You know.
No, it's as far as I can tell, it's fairly new. It's an E-wing, and it's not
It's an
common.
E-wing. Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Yeah. I mean, like it had like the cockpit of an X-wing. Even most of the fuselage, I believe, like up to part of the nose and maybe some of the back, but the engines were definitely two of the X-wing engines are similar. So I don't know. I was some of the designs. I'm like, I don't know. They're just coming up with letters of the alphabet and shit, and throwing
Right.
something at it. It's really weak. That one I didn't hate. I don't know how you get an E out of it, but whatever. Maybe it's lowercase e or something.
I always loved the A-wing. I felt like it, didn't
Yes.
get a lot of love.
Oh, it did, man.
The prior, right? Like back in Hoth
Right.
was the last time you really saw love for the A-wing.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like until X-wing and all TIE Fighter, the games came out, like you really started to appreciate it because it was the badass one to have for the rebel side, man. You
Right.
fucking yoked up with shields and missiles and lasers and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was one in a back
fast
shot
as fuck too.
in the garage. Yeah,
Yeah, they are fucking
and
stupid fast.
just a
But
cool little thing I saw.
yeah, Clancy Brown, man, getting to play his live action role.
Dude, I love him as an actor, man.
I do too. And he's a sci-fi alum, man. Clancy's done a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
sci-fi. He's been in, as everyone knows, in Enterprise. He had that great role where they were on the desert planet. Oh God, I can't believe it! I mixed my fucking IPs. No, don't none of you melt.
right.
No, 25 of you.
I hate that I feel like I've missed some of his best performances because I did not play almost, or is it Almost Human?
Yeah, no, I didn't
It was
either.
a game that was basically just a bunch of QTEs, right, about being an android. And he played a character in there that had like some really good stuff, but I didn't want to play the game.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. I thought it was funny as shit that as soon as I saw the triquetra inside that thing that Sabine was trying to figure out, I mean, like, as soon as it opened up, I was like, oh, there's a triquetra in there. And, like, we ended up with the witches or whatever, and I was like, okay, well, that's cool. So you want to take a little, you know,
Dathomir.
yeah. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
The, taking some Earthling witch history and adding it to theirs, with the triquetra. And I just thought, well, damn, I found that shit quick. But she's all gotten pull out stuff and move this over here and move that over there. I'm like, you can't see the triquetra through all that? What are you, stupid?
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, she was just getting on my nerves.
That's another director trying to make sure that you feel smart, right?
Oh yeah, well, it was a very Steven Spielberg moment for sure.
Right.
And speaking of Steven Spielberg, I thought kind of the map room experience was very reminiscent of Indiana Jones map room in many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I'm flipping over my episode 2 notes now. By the way, the episode 1 title was Master and Apprentice.
Apprentice.
Episode 2 is Toil and Trouble. Another witch reference, right? To Shakespeare,
Right.
Macbeth. And of course we had the Empire Strikes Back hospital shot in that. Did you notice Ahsoka wore ninja boots?
I did.
Yeah, I thought that was nice.
Everything about her screams like Ninjaga and stuff like that. Like I was really appreciative of her choreography because it goes into um, the actual choreography of whatever they would call it these days, but it's basically ninjutsu.
Yeah. Yeah. So they end up in that shipyard, man, on Corellia, right? That
Mm-hmm.
I love shit like that, dude.
Yeah.
All the old ships, you know, from back when we were kids, seeing them there getting junked, getting torn apart. All these massive engines that just look like scaled up jet engines, basically. It was
Mm-hmm.
really cool. Um, and then seeing that tug hauling that engine away, getting away. At first, I was calling bullshit, like on how it was going out and like how that engine was hanging, and because at first I thought it was hanging differently, like by different things, and then I saw it. All right, yeah. Well, we had another technical glitch, but we're just gonna press on here. Um, I said it at the beginning. I'm
What's
glad
that?
they put episode 2 to
Yeah.
episode 1. Now, I've talked about this before. Obi-Wan, I thought definitely hurt by not having all of it at once.
Yeah.
And what else do we have recently that I mentioned that I thought should have benefited from? I can't remember what it was, but oh, it was Book of
Well,
Boba.
we had Book of Boba Fett, and then we mentioned it in Mando season 3 with a lot of those episodes,
Yep.
or the first two.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's not like they're listening to me, but maybe more than one person or somebody with you know with some gravitas, some clout.
Well, I imagine it's a pretty common sentiment, and that's one of the things about the current entertainment industry is that's a resource that's readily available for
Yeah,
content creators.
yeah. Well, kudos to them for that. I am glad they need to pay attention to that, man. If your timing's not working, maybe you ought to consider releasing stuff all together. You know,
Yeah.
give people a chance to just watch it at their own leisure. A lot of people like having it all at once. A lot of people like getting it served to them. I'm the latter. I like it having slid out to me because I'm old school, and that's how we went. That's how we
Yeah.
rolled.
No,
So
I mean I'm from the old school too, but I'm in the different camp because I just wanted it at my leisure, right?
yeah. Well, if it's new, I want it fed to me. If it's been
Yeah.
out a while, I want to be able to have it all at once so I can do whatever.
Right.
Um,
I guess it's also a different thing for me. I don't have like a crew anymore, a group. So I told you I used to have a group that I used to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer with.
right. Yeah.
And I think having a group like that really does change the experience where you can look forward to like this night of the week. We're gonna all get together and watch this show and make fun of it or love it or whatever the case is. But that kind of thing to look forward to.
Yes, indeed. For real.
I don't think I'm alone in that either. I think that's a post-pandemic thing that a lot of people are dealing with.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, over the last reaction videos we've done, we've kind of done this star system thing. It's
Yeah.
nothing new or unique, but we might as well. It helps people kind of zone in maybe to where you're at. I'm gonna let you go first, man. What do you think?
Ah, wow. Honestly, I have to give it a low score. I would give it 0 stars if I could, but there are some things that I like in it that would bring it up to like maybe a 2.5. Because there are elements that I really do like the choreography. I really like Ahsoka as a character. I think Rosario is doing a great job of
Yeah.
bringing her to live action.
Yeah.
It's really hard to you can't rely on what they relied on in the Clone Wars because she had like big eyes, pouty lips, everything was expressive, and it was just there to animate.
Yeah.
It's really hard to put that into a live action character, and I think she does a good job with it.
Yeah, and as you say, that Screen Rant guy, man, he did point out that she is a version of Ahsoka we've never seen before, so that was kind of putting
Right.
him off.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Well, I mean,
That's not something I would have known or thought of.
this is something in every Jedi, or that we've experienced in the past. Luke struggled with the dark side. Obviously, there was Anakin.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of like her own version of that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like the lure of the dark side. Most of the time, for a Jedi, it's their losses, right? That do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's deep in that shit right now.
Yeah, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering.
Right.
Oh, well, so you said 2.5 stars. I'm in that area, man. I'll give it 3. I'll give it
Yeah.
3 stars. I'm kind of middle of the road with it. I'm waiting to see how it plays out. And
I'm not
what's up.
optimistic.
I mean, it's Rebels season 5 is what it is. That's what they should have
Right.
called it. So, if you hadn't watched Rebels, you kind of at a disadvantage here. And I don't even think I've seen all of season 5.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of backstory that's missing, but at the same time, it's kind of like with the Filoni callback. It's like you can only do that so much, right? Like you can only go back and just like hit a couple of touchstones for the people who get the history. It doesn't make it a better show, right?
Yeah.
That's my issue. Is like this could be a great show. Ahsoka, everybody loves Ahsoka because it's traditionally been a kind of one of those off the side characters, right? Somebody we don't really know a lot about.
Yeah.
And she does have her own style and elements as a former Jedi or whatever you want to call her. So I feel like they're going to try and do the same thing that they've been doing with various IP and just shoehorn in ideas to try and present something, but they're not going to really delve into what they could with the character, the story, the place, and all that. The best we can hope for is a little bit more lore, in my opinion, a little bit more lore concerning Ahsoka Sabine and stuff like that, but also the Night Sisters.
Yeah, and maybe when Thrawn actually shows up, it might get interesting. Who knows?
Maybe.
We'll see. But I tend to think he's not going to show up till the very end, and it'll be Ahsoka season 2 where he really makes a difference.
Maybe.
Just like what's his name at the end of Mandalorian 1? He comes out with a dark saber.
Oh, I keep wanting to call him Esposito.
I know, right? Anyway, Esposito comes out of the TIE fighter with it. Yeah, I mean, like it kind of reminds me of that same deal. Like, here's the bad guy at the very end. Now you wait till next season and see what's really going on.
We're probably not going to even get that this season, I don't think. I think this season will be like a build-up of them heading towards a direction, right?
Yeah.
And like encountering other agents of the Imperial Shadow Council. So.
Well, I am interested. I mean, just because I like, the idea of Thrawn and where they're going is uncharted territory. So I'm interested to see where that goes. But I'm also annoyed with the world between worlds shit. So I'm not sure how much of that I'll tolerate.
Well, we'll see how much it plays in.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, so we're going to wrap it up with that. And ask that if you please give us a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Even if you didn't, like and subscribe anyway. Maybe you'll enjoy the next one.
Right.
But anyhow, we will continue on this series next week with episode 3. And I have seen a little trailer from that already, but I don't really remember much, and I couldn't tell you too much about it. I think there's anticipation that we'll see Anakin in flashbacks or something like that. So maybe so. I don't know for sure.
There is one concern is how much material they have with Rey, right?
With Rey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's such a big part of the story.
We shall see. Time will tell. So thank you guys for joining us. And as always, be excellent to each other. And we'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.